Alright guys, welcome back. This is my way too early World Cup predictions. Why? Because many things could change until the World Cup actually starts. So we've still got 6 or 7 months until we actually play the first matches. Players that are now on form could be out of the team by then. Or injured. Players that are now injured could be in the team by then, or there will be a lot of changes until the World Cup. So let's look at this. So Group A has Mexico, South Africa, Korea, and a playoff D, Denmark, North Macedonia, Czech Republic, or Ireland. I'm gonna go for Denmark here. Mexico and South Africa actually have the opening game just like it was in 2010, so that's very nostalgic. I think Mexico on their home turf, then Denmark, South Africa, and the Korean Republic, or should be South Korea to be fair. This is a very balanced group from the first three. I do think that South Korea won't have that good of a tournament like in 2018 when they beat Germany. South Africa, I have looked at the team there, except for Lyle Foster, I think, who's the only Premier League player. They don't have that many well-known names on their team. However, I've heard some good things about them. Now, obviously, we've also seen Mamelodi Sundowns, who are also a South African team in the Club World Cup, and they've played some good football against Bayern Munich as well. So I think there are a lot of Mamelodi Sundown players on here. So I don't think they will be last. However, Denmark or Mexico will probably be first and second. Now, Mexico, I give to them because of their home advantage. Now, it will be quite close because Mexico is not the team they used to be like 5-10 years ago with Lozano, Jimenez, Carlos Vela, Guardado, and so on. So they don't have the team anymore. Second group will be Group B with Canada, a playoff A winner, Qatar and Switzerland. Now, playoff A is Italy, the Northern Irish, Wales, or Bosnia and Herzegovina. So I think Italy will be in this group. So I'm gonna go Italy first, Switzerland, Canada, and Qatar. Now, Qatar doesn't have that great of a team, obviously. Canada, if they don't go through, it'd be a disaster because it's their home turf. They're one of the host nations alongside USA and Mexico. Well, Switzerland have done very well in recent tournaments, especially in the Euros. Now, they haven't been too bad on the international stage in general. I think they were in a semi-final or final of the Nations League against Portugal in, what was it, 2019, so not that long ago. Then they beat France in the last Euros, I think, or the Euros before that. They've beaten some big European teams, especially over the last 10 years. So the Swiss are a force to be reckoned with. They will probably go out second in this group. Now, Canada and Switzerland is actually gonna be closer than it's on paper, maybe. We'll see about that. Because Canada also should have home advantage, and Italy will have too much for all the teams. Now, on paper, Italy is way better than any of the teams in this group, but they are quite literally joking. Norway was in their qualification group, and Norway made it out of the group because, first of all, more points. Second of all, they just had this crazy goal difference with Haaland scoring like 10 to 15 goals in the qualification round, so that was quite crazy. And Italy also lost to Norway, so they are not in the best form. They don't have the best players, the best team at this point in time, but they should still have enough for the Group B. Now, Group C is Brazil, Morocco, Haiti, Scotland. If Brazil don't win this group, it will be a disaster. Now, Morocco, Scotland will be quite close. So who am I giving it to now? Morocco have gone to the semi-finals of the last World Cup, knocking out Portugal in the process, I think. So Morocco is for me second, then the Scottish and Haiti. Now, Haiti is a very small country. They are, I think, only qualified because from the North and Middle or because we already have 3 host nations from the American Football Association. Haiti can be or should consider themselves very lucky to be even on here. And Scotland, yeah, they've done quite good. I think they beat Spain a while ago as well, with McTominay being on red hot form, scoring a bicycle kick in the qualification round to this tournament. Morocco and Scotland will be quite close, but I think Brazil should have enough to top this group. Now, Carlo Ancelotti is the coach. They don't look like a top 5 team in the world by the squad depth general on paper, but yeah, it's Brazil, 5-time World Cup winners. They should move out there. Now, Group D, USA, Paraguay, Australia, and a playoff C winner. Now, playoff C is Turkey, Romania, Slovakia, and Kosovo. Should be Turkey. Now, Turkey was on red hot form in the Euros. Now, remember this, they knocked out Austria, who were first in a group with France and the Netherlands. So Turkey on paper with the strongest team here. Then I think the USA, this could be Paraguay or Australia. I'm actually gonna look up Paraguay for a second. This is the South American FA. Yeah, alright. So Paraguay had a 6th place finish with the same amount of points as Brazil, Uruguay, Colombia, and only 1 point less than Ecuador, with Argentina topping the qualification round. Alright, that's not too bad actually. So Paraguay should be close to second actually. Now, USA, you could also argue that they would go third or even up there with the home advantage, and pretty decent team actually. A team surrounding Christian Pulisic, obviously, who's on red hot form for AC Milan. One of the best, I want to say GA merchant, but he's not just a GA merchant, but one of the best players in terms of goals and assists over the last few 3 seasons actually in Serie A. Paraguay, yeah, they've done quite well in their qualification, as you just saw, with tied on points with 3rd, 4th, 5th place and just 1 point behind Ecuador, who was 2nd. Now Turkey actually did quite well also in the qualification round in a group with Spain. They should have enough, I guess, Turkey, and then the USA, Paraguay. Obviously, the Turks have Kenan Yildiz, Arda Güler, Hakan Çalhanoğlu, a very good team. Also Demiral, who's in that team. Ferdi Cardiolo from Brighton and Hove. So very high level talent for Turkey at this World Cup. At the USA, Paraguay, Australia, honestly, put the prize in the bag, man. I mean, you don't have anything to lose because I think the expectations are not that high generally. Now, Group E, Germany will be Curacao, Côte d'Ivoire, which is Ivory Coast, and Ecuador. Now, Ecuador is quite funny because they finished 2nd in the qualification round in the CONMEBOL, which is South American FA. Now, that's why Germany 1st, Ecuador 2nd, the Ivory Coast 3rd, and Curacao 4th. Now, Curacao, a very small country, they're probably gonna get slapped by Germany by the likes of Wirtz. Musiala should be fit by then. Then you've got a young kid from Leipzig coming through, Kedrogo, and Voltemade as a striker. Very good Germany team. Maybe not one of the best 5 teams on paper, but definitely one of the top 10 and one of the probably top 5 European teams if you're looking at it like that. And obviously the European teams are the strongest on paper. Ecuador did quite well in the qualification round, and the Ivory Coast here. This is also between 1st and 3rd a very balanced group. Now, Curaçao is, yeah, at least they should have a fun time going up and having the chance to go up against these bigger nations, but actually getting out of the group would be quite a fairy tale, actually. Group F, Netherlands, Japan, a playoff winner B, and Tunisia. So B is Ukraine, Sweden, Poland, Albania. I don't think it will be Albania. I don't think it will be Sweden. So it's Ukraine or Poland. Let's say Lewandowski just gets it over the line and the Polish qualify for this. So the Netherlands, Poland, Japan, Tunisia. Now Japan has done quite well on the last few World Cups. They haven't looked too bad. I think they actually came quite close to winning a game against Belgium at a World Cup not too long ago. And Japan also beat some big teams throughout the last few tournaments. While the Polish, they have a better team on paper than Japan, that's why they're second. And the Netherlands also have a better team than the Polish on paper. Does that always mean you will go out on top of your group? No, but it's definitely a good indicator. At least if you've got a competent manager with a good team, then you should be able to finish on top. Now the Netherlands have the likes of Xavi Simons in their team, Virgil van Dijk is still there. Then you've got, I think, Stefan de Vrij still there, Mickey van der Ven, Frankie de Jong obviously. Memphis Depay is their main goal scorer, so they definitely should have enough to top this group. Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand. Wow, this I don't actually know who to pick third or fourth here. I would say Belgium. Now Egypt are cruising off. Should be second because they've got like Salah and Mamouche in that team, two shooting stars that should score a bunch of goals for them. Belgium just have the best team, currently led by Doku. Now De Bruyne is obviously declining. It's between, well, Taremi is the one I can think of that plays for Iran, and New Zealand I just think of Chris Wood. So, well, I'm actually gonna back the Kiwis for a third place finish here, but really this could go either way for those two, or even for Egypt, to be honest. So Belgium just should top this group. They've still got, as I said, De Bruyne, Doku, Tielemans, Courtois. Group H, Spain, Capo Verde, Saudi Arabia, Uruguay. Okay, Spain, Uruguay, Saudi Arabia, Capo Verde. Capo Verde is a very small footballing nation. Now, it would shock me if they actually came out on third. Now, Saudi Arabia wasn't too bad. They won their opening match against Argentina, the last World Cup, from Al Dawsari. It was that wonder goal that Martinez couldn't save. So, pretty neat stuff. However, I don't think that they will get on second here. Maybe they will go out as one of the best third place teams, but we will see about that later. Uruguay, on paper a better squad. They haven't looked convincing whatsoever. If you look at the CONMEBOL qualification, just on points with Paraguay, Colombia, Ecuador, Brazil. Now Uruguay doesn't have a super squad. They've got, I think, Marcelo Bielsa at the wheel, who a coaching legend, who is one of the better coaches actually at this tournament, alongside like Lionel Scaloni, alongside Thomas Tuchel. So on paper, Uruguay should get the second place. And Spain, yeah, just one of the best teams in the world, really. Won the last Euros, got a team surrounding the likes of Lamine Yamal, Pedri, and Rodri, if he's hopefully fit for the World Cup. We'll hope for the best, so that he's actually fit for this World Cup and playing at a similar level or the same level he used to before that injury, the Ballon d'Or Rodri level. Now they still have to figure out like the goalkeeper issue with either Raya, Joan Garcia, or Unai Simon. They've got a good defense in front with Cucurella especially, Dean Howson, Inigo Martinez, etc. Spain overall, they are like they in every position of the pitch they have like very good to world class players, so they should have this. Now De La Fuente is also a very competent coach as well. He's shown that at the last Euros. Group I: France, Senegal, playoff winner 2, Norway. Playoff winner 2 will be, I would probably say it will be Bolivia. So gonna pick France, Norway, Senegal, Bolivia. Now, granted, Norway could very well also top this group if like Haaland scores a bunch of goals against France. This could very well happen, and then France would obviously move down to second. Senegal, yeah, decent team, have been one of the best African teams over the last 10-15 years. Now Sadio Mane, their biggest star, is also not in his prime anymore, obviously, but they've got the likes of Ismail Assar on that team as well. They've got the likes of Iliman Ndiaye, Pape Sarr, Habib Diarra, etc. Some very good Premier League players. El Hadji Malik too from West Ham is also on the Senegal team. So they could also get up to second. So this is probably the closest thing you'll see to a group of death. Now Norway have been exceptional, especially because of their offense, with Erling Haaland being the monster up front. France are just, I think, on paper the best team in the world. And Senegal, yeah, I mean, surely they can't be like fourth, right? So France, Mbappe will want to win this one because he lost the last one in very bitter fashion. So France first. Now the next group: Algeria, Argentina, Algeria, Austria, Jordan. Now there's actually history between one of those two teams, one of the biggest disgraces. So my country, Austria, and Germany played out a 1-0, I think it was in 1982 World Cup. So that, well, Algeria, Austria, and Germany were in a group, and because Austria and Germany could only progress if Germany wins 1-0 against Austria, Austria just decided to let them score a goal and then let Germany pass the ball around for the rest of the game, so that Algeria would be knocked out and Austria and Germany go through. So Algeria will want revenge on us, definitely. So Argentina, current world champions, first, Austria a close second, with Algeria a close third, and Jordan will be that bottom, I think. Now Austria have done a very decent job with Ralf Rangnick, now actually being quite comfortable. Yeah, Austria was in a group with Cyprus, San Marino, Romania, and Bosnia, and came out of that group with the most points here on 19 compared to Bosnia 17. Now it wasn't the hardest competition, but they still did quite a good job. Algeria, yeah, Mahrez was their best player over the last few years, over the last 10 years, I should say. They actually won the AFCON in, what was it, 2019, where Mahrez got that wonder free kick goal. Was it in the semis or in the final? But they don't have that many great players anymore. I still remember Yacine Brahimi when he played for Porto. Still remember Mahrez, but those two are both getting older now. So actually Algeria, Lucas Zidane also plays for them, of course, because Zizou also has the Algerian passport. Benzebaini actually plays for Algeria. Atal, we know him from FIFA. Houssem Aouar, instead of playing for France, also plays for them. Hicham Boudaoui, also stone Ryan At-Nouri, to be fair, not a bad player either. Chalbi from Frankfurt. Ismail Benacer, you also know him from Milan, used to play there. And of course, Riyad Mahrez. So decent team, but Austria still should have enough, to be honest. And Argentina, well, Messi's last World Cup. Will he win it again? Personally, I don't think so, but we'll see later if they have a chance to go deep. But Scaloni is probably the best manager in this tournament, and Argentina have the second best squad in South America. Now, the South American squads are not that good compared to the European squads. Argentina are just a cohesive team, they play as a unit. Seems like they almost have a psychic connection in that team, with them just playing like the best unit. They won because they played like the best unit in last year's tournament, even though they lost their opening game to Saudi Arabia. Now, Group K, Portugal, Pot 1, which is Pot 1, I think I'll go with Jamaica here to make it through. So Portugal, Colombia, well, Uzbekistan, I only can think of Kuzanov, the guy who plays for Manchester City. Jamaica, I think there are some English players, Premier League players that can't play for the English national team, like Antonio. And also, I don't think he has any associations with the English passport, but Leon Bailey actually also plays for the Jamaican national teams. So I'm putting them forward, and Uzbekistan fourth. Now, Portugal, Ronaldo's last chance to win a World Cup. They will hopefully do well in this tournament and start the group stage as a house on fire. Now, Colombia, decent team. They are not the same team they used to be in 2014 with Falcao and James Rodriguez in their prime. Now, James still actually plays for them, but as an older player, as an Ank, you could say, as a mentor to the younger players. I think Yarimina also still plays for Colombia. Now, the Colombian squad, Ospina, we still know him, Davinson Sanchez. Lukumi from Bologna is a very good defender. Mojica, yeah. Yarimina, the other Mosquera, not the Spanish one from Arsenal. You could call him the worst Mosquera. James Rodriguez, Jefferson Lerma, Juan Quintero, Richard Rios. He's had a fantastic game, by the way, against Napoli in the Champions League with a goal and an assist for Benfica. Yeah, decent team. The other Luis Diaz. Yeah, true. He's their main man, Luis Diaz. So Colombia will be definitely second. Now Jamaica or Uzbekistan. I think it should be Jamaica, honestly. But they don't have any standard names anymore. No Antonio, no Leon Bailey, it seems like. So, still, I think Jamaica should have enough. Uzbekistan is a complete no-name team except for Kuzanov. Uzbekistan are actually ranked higher. Cannavaro is their coach. Great as a player. He was fantastic, won a Ballon d'Or, played for Real Madrid, but I don't know how good he's been on a coach. He's had a quiet career so far, I think. Now Kuzanov is on this team, and Shomurodov, he used to play at Roma. Now he's at Başakşehir Istanbul. Yeah, there is actually not that much difference. So Uzbekistan could also leapfrog Jamaica. Group L, England, Croatia, Ghana, Panama. So I think it will actually be exactly like this. So England, Croatia, Ghana, Panama, just like in that order. Well, England will slap Panama. I think they won 5-0 at the 2018 World Cup against them. This could be even higher, to be honest, with Harry Kane being one of the best players right now in the entire world. You could argue the best player right now for me, it's between Mbappe and Haaland, and Kane is third, but still definitely the best English player right now. Now they still have, some players still have a point to prove, like Foden, for example, has not been good for the English team whatsoever. Then, well, and you also have the likes of Palmer, Bellingham, Declan Rice, a fantastic team. Also in the back, Livramento, Lewis Hall. Now, hopefully, Levi Colwill will be fit for this team. And he could also play down the center back. Jordan Pickford is a goalkeeper. So I think on market value, this could be the most expensive team alongside France. Now, because it's Premier League tax, obviously, but because on paper it's also one of the best teams. So it's not just pure Premier League tax. Croatia have done very well. Modric won player of the tournament in 2018. Croatia went all the way into the final in 2018, knocking out England in the process. Actually, they have done very well in the last tournaments, not just the World Cup, also the Euros. Now Croatia have always been good in these tournaments. Also, yeah, one of the best units, I guess. But their team is aging, so Rakitic, Modric, Perisic, I don't think is even there. Rakitic also, Modric will be probably his last tournament. So their core, Brozovic, don't even know if he's still there. So their core is the core players, their most important players are getting very old. Now Ghana, I'd actually have to look up Ghana. I do know that Thomas Partey should play here. Now they've got some players in League On. Yeah, Kamaldeen Sulemana, currently injured, but very good dribbler. Now plays for Atalanta. Thomas Partey. Inaki Williams, true. Jordan Ayew as well as Mohamed Kudus, their big star, alongside Inaki Williams and Thomas Partey. Decent team. I don't think they will have any chance to leapfrog Croatia though. And Panama, yeah, I just know them for getting slapped by England, to be fair, and I think they should lose to Croatia and England. Maybe play out a draw with Ghana, then have a worse goal difference than Ghana and just go out as fourth. Now we have to pick our best third place teams now. Ghana are in a group with Croatia and England, so I don't think they will qualify. So there is 12 third ranked teams, obviously, because it's 12 groups and we have to pick the 8 best out of them. Now, so there is Japan. Well, there is South Africa, Canada, Scotland, Paraguay. Paraguay, I think, should have enough. Scotland should have enough. Canada, I guess, should also have enough. Yeah, the Ivory Coast should slap Curacao and also go through. Saudi Arabia, I don't think will go through. Ghana, I don't think will go through. Senegal. Now I will pick Japan. I will pick Canada. I will pick Scotland. I will pick... This is pretty tough actually, picking those third place teams. Saudi won't have enough. South Africa, New Zealand, Jamaica, Ghana. Now it could be that a fourth and third place team both have 1 point, so it's better to actually win one match and get 3 points on the board. So we might actually have to look for teams that have 3 points and finish third. And the Ivory Coast should also qualify, I think. I don't think... Well, Algeria are in with revenge, so they should qualify. Senegal is tough in a group with France and Norway. You could get slapped by both of these and then have a bad goal difference, but you could also get a win against Bolivia and then be on 3 points, so you might go through here. Uzbekistan, Jamaica might be like a draw, so both on 1 point if they play out a draw in between them. Algeria, Jordan, Ghana, Panama could also... I think Ghana will have both, like Panama and Ghana both on 1 point, but Ghana with a better goal difference than Panama, so that's why they are third. Now Jamaica, like also I guess Senegal, if Senegal have enough against Bolivia, well, Senegal should have on paper enough against Bolivia, so I'm picking them as well. So I need one more team. Yeah, why not just pick the Kiwis, I guess. Yeah, in that group, that because I'm picking the Kiwis, New Zealand, because this is pretty between second, third, fourth, pretty balanced group. So if New Zealand get like a win against Iran or Egypt, have a better goal difference than the fourth place team. Well, they don't even need a better goal difference than the fourth place team because the fourth place team probably doesn't have 3 points. Just get 3 points on the board and should be enough. Now Saudi, I think, will get slapped hard by Spain and Uruguay, so they have 3 points, but a worse goal difference than New Zealand. Japan and the Ivory Coast will qualify, as already said. Senegal will qualify. Then let's get to the knockout stages. Germany, Paraguay. It should be Germany on paper. Way better team. Should be them. Now France and Japan. French should win this, and we already have a enticing matchup between Germany and France in the round of 16. So this will be Denmark against Switzerland. Yeah, the Swiss have shown enough quality in the knockout rounds, and Netherlands against Morocco. Also interesting. Still, the Dutch should have enough. Now, Colombia against Croatia. Yeah, alright. Yeah, not good, not good. This could go either way. I'm picking Colombia over Croatia and then Spain over Austria. Yeah, that will be it for us in the round of 32. Austria will already be out. Playoff C against Canada. So Turkey against Canada, come on, it should be Turkey. Canada could very well win this game, but Turkey, yeah. Here you have more quality, and if they don't choke it, Canada won't go through. Belgium against Algeria. Belgium. Brazil against playoff B was... We're talking about Poland against Brazil. Should be Brazil. Hopefully they actually do anything this World Cup with Carlo Ancelotti at the wheel. Ecuador against Norway. I trust Haaland here and his countryman. Now, obviously, if Haaland is like injured, Norway will have a problem with scoring goals because Soloff is not the most consistent striker. So, Mexico against Scotland. Mexico City Stadium. Mexico against Scotland. Yeah, guys, I trust you boys to actually win this and advance to the round of 16. England against Senegal. England. Miami Stadium. Argentina, Uruguay. It should be Argentina. Personally, I do think that Scaloni is a better coach in these knockout rounds. He's shown it in the last World Cup. Now, Uruguay have not as good a team as Argentina. So, even though I quite rate Bielsa as a coach. USA against Egypt. I do think the USA will advance to the round of 16 against Argentina. Playoff A should be, I think, Italy. So Italy against New Zealand, Italy. Portugal against the Ivory Coast should be Portugal. Now the round of 16. Germany against France. Honestly, the French should win this. Didier Deschamps' probably last tournament as France coach. I think Zidane will then take his job after this tournament. It probably doesn't matter if he wins it or not. Obviously, the Germans will put up a fight, but not good enough for Mbappe and France to lose this one. Switzerland against Netherlands. Let's trust the Dutch here. Then Colombia against Spain. It should be Spain. Like, belt to ass, honestly. Belgium against, I think, Turkey, was it? So Belgium against Turkey. Honestly, I trust the Turkish team. and rate the Turkish squad more than the Belgium at this point. Well, although both sides have ballers like Yildiz, Güler, Cananolo on the one hand, and Doku and Tillemans on the other, and Courtois obviously. It will be hard to score actually against Thibaut Courtois, thinking about it. So, yeah, it will be a tight game, this one, Turkey against Belgium. Let's give it to Belgium here. Then Brazil against Norway. Wow. Also, I think a closer game than people think on paper. I think Haaland will score in this game if he's fit, but I think Brazil will score one or two more. So Brazil. England against Scotland should be England. However, remember that one time that the neighbors of England, last time I think it was Wales in 2016 in the Euros, actually knocked them out in a quarterfinal of the Euros. So maybe Scotland can repeat that and actually knock out England. I personally don't see it. Now, Argentina, USA, sorry, USA, Argentina, and Portugal against Italy. Now, I don't think that Portugal will have enough against Italy. Granted, it will maybe be a closer game because Portugal like to choke, but they have a way better team. Actually, one of the most like top 5 most expensive teams on market value. That doesn't say a lot because they're not managed very well by Roberto Martinez. Now, France against Netherlands should be France. Netherlands, golden generation. If it even was a golden generation, I guess that generation where Robin and Wesley Sneijder were still in, it's pretty much over. Now France will advance to the semis and Spain as well. Well, against Belgium. This should be also like a 4-0 or something. Very close to. Well, now it is belt to us. Honestly, it should be belt to us. Brazil against England. Will the English choke again, or will Brazil actually lose this one? This is a very interesting one. I really can't tell you, but on paper it should be England. Now, let's see if you actually perform to the expectations this time, England. Argentina against Portugal. Now, this is where the bias comes in. Portugal have the better team, like higher market value, but Argentina have a unity not seen in many international, or not seen in many of the top countries right now. So probably the best cohesive team, but still Ronaldo bias. Ronaldo hopefully can actually win it this time. I'm so much dreaming here right now. So France against Spain. Wow. Will France choke? Will Spain win? This is very hard to predict, by the way. Star quality will get France to the final, I think, and then it will be Portugal against England will choke, honestly. I do think so. Maybe you guys actually surprise me and win this World Cup. Portugal. So hopefully this actually happens, because now I'm living in Delulu or La La Land, because I actually want Ronaldo to win this one and win his first World Cup. Maybe even have Ballon d'Or shouts after this one. Now, because it would be like the last thing that's missing for him, for Portugal. He's won the Nations League. He's won twice actually. He's won the Euros. Now he's just like out of the major tournaments, he's missing the World Cup. And don't tell me he didn't win the Confed Cup or didn't win the Olympia gold, but that are not as important as the World Cup. That's still the biggest sporting event ever. Obviously, he's won everything with club level with Real Madrid, United, Juventus, multiple league titles in each country, 5-time Champions League winner, 5-time Ballon d'Or winner as well. For me, the greatest player of all time, and he will crown his last performance for the Portugal national team with a win. Now, personally, I don't think he will be that involved as he was in like 2018. He maybe got like 1 or 2 goals last World Cup, so maybe he scored like 2, 3. But I think if Portugal want to win, they can't be trusting Ronaldo with 90 minutes every game. They also have to rotate him with the likes of Gonzalo Ramos and actually get the best out of the team, increase the cohesiveness of the team to win this. Now, France, it will be very hard, but I said a bit of delusion will be here. Now, let's see, guys, how this actually turns out. Maybe we should do another predictions video just before the World Cup. The like playoffs for UEFA, so European teams, will be played out in March. So still a few teams that actually have to qualify. As you see, still 6 teams who are going to qualify. I think we will do this prediction again in a few months and see how it plays out then. But for now, this is my knockouts prediction with Portugal beating Italy, Argentina, England, and then France, which would be a fairy tale run. Anyways, guys, what do you think? Who will win? How well will the big teams do, like Spain, France, Portugal, England, Brazil, Argentina? How well will they perform? And I'll see you guys very soon. Take care.